Top 5 Susan B. Anthony Dollars Worth Big Money. Welcome. Today, we're going to explore the top 5 most valuable Susan B. Anthony $1 coins from the United States. United State. We'll break down their current market value, rare and valuable error coins, and the special conditions, including silver-looking planchets, unusual color shades, and other rare features that have become major highlights in the coin collecting and investing world. These rare treasures are not only pieces of American history, but also some of the most sought-after coins collectors are hunting today. So if you're a coin enthusiast, investor, or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of U.S. currency, this video is for you. Let's get started with our first rare Susan B. Anthony dollar. Sparkles. The story of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar begins at a moment when America attempted something bold: to replace the bulky Eisenhower dollar with a smaller, lighter coin that could move the country toward modern efficiency. In this atmosphere of innovation, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints released millions of $1,979, each featuring the fierce portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the first woman ever placed on a circulating U.S. coin. Yet, despite the massive production numbers, only a tiny fraction of these coins would go on to earn legendary status for their rarity, their errors, and their fortune-changing potential. When these dollars were first released, the American public didn't immediately embrace them. Their size was too similar to the quarter, causing endless confusion. But while people were busy complaining about the coin's practicality, they had no idea that a handful of 1979 Anthony dollars, particularly those struck with unusual planchets, special dies, and experimental finishes, would one day rise to unbelievable value. This transformation from unwanted coin to potential life-changing treasure is what makes the $1,979 one of the most fascinating coins in modern U.S. history. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P mint mark, became the center of some of the most shocking discoveries. A small number of 1979 P dollars were struck with an experimental or modified die, producing what collectors later called the wide rim or near-date variety. These coins show the date positioned closer to the edge, a tiny difference, but one that skyrocketed their value. For people lucky enough to find one in high grade, the coin became a symbol of how small details can generate massive fortune. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint contributed its own mysterious offerings. The 1979 D dollars were struck with force and speed, and this brute production occasionally produced brilliant errors. Off-center strikes, filled die details, weak rims, and coins with mirror-like surfaces that seemed far too reflective for a circulating coin. Some collectors later reported discovering pieces that displayed a strange silver-like gleam, as if struck on experimental planchets. Whether accidental or intentional, these unusual coins ignited endless speculation and pushed collectors to search deeper into their change. The true power of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar lies not just in its varieties, but in its timing. It was minted during a decade of rapid technological growth, rising inflation, economic tension, and evolving social values. The coin symbolizes a crossroads between old minting traditions and new systems, between the past's conservative designs and the future's bold changes. This sense of transition makes the $1,979 feel like historical witnesses, carrying echoes of the late 1970s in every detail. Some of the most valuable pieces discovered over the years come from brilliant uncirculated rolls that were forgotten in bank vaults or tucked away inside family estates. These coins, preserved by accident, shine with a mirror-like intensity that the average circulated Anthony dollar never had. Collectors cherish such pieces like relics, knowing that their untouched surfaces hold the full story of the mint's experiments, struggles, and triumphs. Rumors began spreading across the collecting world about a few $1,979, both P and D, that seemed unusually bright, unusually heavy, or unusually toned. Some believed these might be struck on leftover silver planchets intended for foreign coins. Others suspected they were test strikes for early prototype coinage. Whether these stories are fact or fiction hardly matters, because the very possibility fuels the excitement surrounding this coin. A genuine silver planchet $1,979 would hold a value that could shatter records and turn its owner into a legend. Collectors became obsessed with searching through old rolls, jars, and mint sets, hoping to uncover one of these mysterious pieces. The idea that a rare variety could still be waiting in circulation kept people checking their change long after the coin's production stopped. Even today, the thrill of the hunt remains alive because new discoveries continue to appear unexpectedly, proving that the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is far from fully explored. The coin also carries emotional weight because of who it honors. Susan B. Anthony herself was a symbol of courage, equality, and perseverance. Placing her on a coin was a bold political statement at the time. That symbolic power adds to the coin's value. Not monetary value, but historical value, emotional value, and cultural importance. The $1,979 becomes more than a coin. It becomes a tribute to a woman who changed America forever. Over the years, collectors have found that certain 1979D and 1979P coins struck under unusual conditions have dazzling surfaces that reflect light like silver. Others show a deep frost on the devices and a mirror-like field, creating a proof-like appearance on a business strike coin. These rare occurrences elevate such coins far above ordinary examples, making them treasures that auction houses proudly showcase. The more collectors study this coin, the clearer it becomes that the 1979 Anthony dollar was far ahead of its time. It introduced a new size, a new design philosophy, and a new approach to modern coinage. Even though the public resisted it, the coin quietly built a legacy. One based on rarity, mistakes, experimentation, and the stubborn beauty of innovation. For collectors today, the 1979P and 1979D Susan B. Anthony dollars represent a universe of possibilities. A simple-looking coin could hold an error worth thousands, or possibly millions, if the right variety or composition is discovered. This is why the advice remains constant. Never spend the coin without examining it. Never dismiss it as common. Never assume its value has already been determined. Somewhere, perhaps in a forgotten roll, an old cash drawer, or a dusty coin jar, a rare $1,979 with unimaginable potential is still waiting to be found. And when that moment comes, it could change someone's fortune overnight. That is the magic of coin collecting. The belief that fate sometimes hides inside the smallest pockets of life. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is not merely a piece of metal. It is a question, a mystery, a possibility. It carries the energy of its era, the brilliance of its varieties, and the spark of miracle-like chance. For those who seek it, the coin offers not only history, but hope, the kind that whispers that your life-changing treasure may already be in your possession, waiting for you to recognize it. Next up, the story of the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar begins in a decade filled with transformation, ambition, and rapid modernization. America was stepping boldly into the 1980s, preparing for new technology, new energy, and new dreams. In this atmosphere of reinvention, the Denver Mint struck millions of SBA dollars, each stamped with the small but mighty D mint mark. And while most of these coins were destined for everyday use, a tiny handful would escape the ordinary world and enter the realm of priceless rarity. At the time, the Susan B. Anthony dollar faced misunderstanding from the public. Its size resembled a quarter, causing confusion everywhere, from cash registers to vending machines. But beneath this confusion, a hidden truth was forming. Some of the 1980 dollars had minting characteristics so unusual, so mysterious, that decades later collectors would hunt them with feverish excitement. These coins were not ordinary. They were born different. The Denver Mint of 1980 was operating under immense pressure. America needed coins, and it needed them fast. High-speed machinery pounded metal with unbelievable force, sometimes producing perfect strikes, sometimes creating rare errors, and sometimes forging coins with a glow that defied explanation. It was in this chaotic environment that the most valuable 1980 Anthony dollars were born. Coins that today carry the whispers of unimaginable worth. Among the most intriguing are the coins that appear almost silver. These pieces reflect light with a brightness that seems impossible for the standard copper-nickel alloy. Some collectors believe they were struck on leftover foreign planchets. Others think they may have been early test strikes. Whatever their origin, these silver-shining 1980 dollars inspire endless speculation, because a genuine composition error from this year could break records and instantly transform its owner's life. The 1980 DSBA dollar also witnessed an era when the U.S. Mint was testing new die preparation methods. Denver's machinery sometimes produced coins with deeply polished surfaces that look like miniature mirrors, coins with frosted portraits and shimmering fields that resemble proof coins even though they were made for circulation. These unintentional beauties now rank among the most desirable modern errors ever discovered. History gives this coin even more weight. The 1980s were the dawn of computers, the rise of space-age materials, and the rebirth of the American dream. People were looking forward, building faster, reaching higher. The Susan B. Anthony dollar, named after a woman who fought for equality and justice, fit this spirit perfectly. The coin was small in size but enormous in meaning, just like the rarest varieties that would later emerge from this year. Collectors later realized that some 1980D coins possess exceptionally strong strikes, with every feather, letter, and detail carved sharply into the metal. The most spectacular examples show crisp edges, blazing luster, and nearly flawless surfaces. Features so rare that only a handful of survivors exist today. These coins feel like Denver's attempt at perfection, frozen in time and preserved for only the luckiest collectors to discover. The thrill of the 1980D dollar comes from the chase. Stories circulate of people finding valuable examples inside old bankrolls, forgotten mint bags, and dusty dresser drawers. A coin that once slipped through the fingers of thousands might suddenly reveal itself as a masterpiece worth far more than anyone ever imagined. It is this element of surprise that makes collectors' hearts race. As rumors of silver-like compositions and ultra-high-grade strikes spread, the legend of the 1980 DSBA dollar grew. Some believed that hidden somewhere was a small batch of coins with entirely different metallic content. Others swore they had seen a piece that weighed differently, sounded differently, or shined like a mirror dipped in moonlight. These stories, true or not, only fuel the fire of fascination. But even without the rumors, the 1980D Susan B. Anthony dollar stands tall because of the way it defies expectations. A coin once dismissed as uninteresting became a modern treasure. A design once criticized for its similarity to the quarter became one of the most intriguing coins of the late 20th century. A dollar that people refused to use became the centerpiece of collector dreams. Every collector knows that the greatest fortunes often come from the most unexpected places. A simple dollar coin from 1980 could hide a dramatic error, a rare die variety, or a unique surface that sets it apart from the millions around it. And when such a coin appears at auction, it commands staggering prices that shock even seasoned experts. Holding a 1980D SBA dollar is like holding a mystery. You never know if you are holding pocket change, or a breakthrough discovery. You never know if the coin is ordinary, or the one extraordinary specimen that could rewrite your entire financial future. This uncertainty is what gives the coin its electric power. The Susan B. Anthony dollar honors a woman who believed in breaking barriers, challenging expectations, and imagining a better world. Her spirit seems embedded in the rarest 1980D examples, coins that break the barriers of ordinary value and rise into the realm of legend. And in that sense, these rare dollars carry her legacy forward, not just as currency, but as symbols of what is possible. Somewhere out there, in a jar, a wallet, a collection, or a forgotten bankroll, the rarest 1980D SBA dollar still waits to be found. The one with the impossible shine. The one with the mysterious metal. The one with the flawless strike. The one that could make its finder a story whispered for generations. That is the magic and mystery of this coin. Proof that fortune can hide in the smallest, simplest, most unexpected places. Next up, the story of the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar begins at a turning point in American history, a moment when the nation was preparing for a new era. It was the first year of the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the first time in U.S. history that a real woman, not a fictional figure, not Lady Liberty, appeared on circulating American money. This was bold. This was historic. And in the midst of this boldness, the Denver Mint produced millions of coins, never realizing that a tiny fraction of them would eventually become the most hunted, most mysterious treasures of the modern era. When the coin was released, the public wasn't ready for it. Its size was nearly identical to the quarter, causing endless confusion. People rejected it, stores returned it, and banks stacked them in dusty back rooms. But destiny has a strange way of hiding miracles in the most unwanted places. Some of the 1979 D coins struck in Denver had unusual brilliance, strange metallic tones, or exceptional quality. Features that collectors decades later would crave like gold. The Denver Mint in 1979 was running at explosive speed. Machines were clashing, presses were vibrating, and tons of planchets were fed into hammers that struck them with tens of thousands of pounds of force. In this environment, high pressure, high speed, high intensity, mistakes happened. Rare mistakes. Mistakes that today can transform a simple SBA dollar into a fortune-shifting artifact worth thousands, even tens of thousands. Collectors today whisper about the silver-looking 1979 D SBA dollar, a coin that seems to shine differently than the rest. Some believe these pieces were struck on leftover foreign planchets, possibly blanks intended for coins of other nations that carried a higher silver content. Others believe they were test strikes, coins never meant to reach the public. Whatever the truth, a genuine off-metal 1979 D specimen would be priceless in today's market. Worth more than a luxury car, worth more than a year's salary, possibly even life-changing. Beyond metal mysteries, the 1979 D SBA dollar is also famous for its powerful visual varieties. Denver's presses sometimes produced exceptionally strong strikes, coins where every detail of Susan B. Anthony's face, every curve of the eagle's wings, shines with razor-sharp intensity. These coins look like proofs, yet they were never meant to be. They are the accidents of perfection that emerged from a mint racing to meet demand, and collectors today fight fiercely over these miraculous survivors. The history behind the coin gives it even more depth. Susan B. Anthony was a warrior of equality, a woman who spent her life fighting for rights that others took for granted. She never saw her dream fully realized, but her legacy lives through this coin. Every 1979 D dollar carries her story: courage, rebellion, and the power of standing against the impossible. When you hold this coin, you hold her fire. In the earliest days of the coin's release, banks didn't understand its future. People shoved them into drawers, piggy banks, coffee cans, and envelopes. Some went untouched for decades. These hidden coins later reappeared, still shining, still crisp, still bearing the powerful Denver D mint mark like a silent declaration of survival. And inside those reappearing rolls and collections, collectors sometimes find the extraordinary. A flawless 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar can be so breathtaking that it stops experts in their tracks. Under a magnifying glass, such a coin glows like starlight. No scratches, no bag marks, no weak strikes, just absolute perfection. These are the coins that reach the highest grades, coins that can sell for thousands, sometimes more than a person expects in their wildest dreams. But what gives the 1979 D SBA dollar its real magic is the unpredictability. You never know where the valuable ones are hiding. A priceless specimen could be sitting in an old collection passed down from a grandfather who didn't even like the coin. It could be resting in a bankroll untouched since the 1980s. It could be lying in someone's pocket right now, mistaken for loose change, waiting for the right person to notice its glow. Rumors in the collector world speak of unusual weights, mysterious rings when tapped, and surfaces that look almost liquid. Qualities that hint at off-metal errors or unusual alloys. If even one of these coins turned out to be genuine silver or another unexpected metal, the value would explode instantly, making the lucky owner a headline in the coin world overnight. There is also the legend of deeply polished dies. Some Denver dies were over-polished so intensely that coins came out looking like mirrors, with frosted designs floating above reflective fields. These accidental proof-like pieces have a visual magic that sets them apart from the ordinary. They look like they belong in a museum, not a cash drawer. The more years pass, the more the 1979 D SBA dollar grows in prestige. Modern collectors have rediscovered this series, bringing new energy into a coin once dismissed as worthless. Prices have risen like a rising tide, lifting the value of rare varieties, high-grade survivors, and mysterious metal anomalies. What was once an ignored dollar has transformed into a rising star of the modern coin market. There is something poetic about the 1979 D SBA dollar. It began as a misunderstood piece of change, almost rejected by the public. Yet today, it is celebrated as a symbol of hidden fortune. It reminds collectors that value isn't always obvious, that treasure doesn't always shine when it's new. Sometimes it takes decades for a coin to reveal its power. Somewhere, without a doubt, there are 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollars still waiting to be discovered. A silver-colored specimen hiding in a forgotten box. A perfect gem sleeping inside a sealed roll. A mysterious error coin resting in someone's palm without them knowing what they hold. And one of those coins might very well have the power to change someone's life overnight. Next up, the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar, struck at both the Philadelphia Mint, P. Mint mark, and the Denver Mint, D. Mint mark, is a coin that hides far more mystery than most people realize. To the average person, it looks like just another dull dollar coin that never became popular. But in the world of collectors and silent treasure hunters, the 1980 SBA dollar carries whispers of rare metal errors, shocking minting anomalies, and survivor coins so perfect that they transform into modern gold mines. The history surrounding these coins makes them feel almost alive, waiting for the moment someone recognizes their true worth. When the 1980 SBA dollar was released, few people cared. The coin had already gained a reputation for being confusing, too similar in size to the quarter, and awkward to use. Banks kept boxes of uncirculated 1980 SBA dollars untouched, and the public barely noticed their existence. Yet this very rejection created an unexpected advantage. Millions of these coins sat in perfect, untouched condition for decades, giving today's collectors a chance to discover near-flawless treasures with values that can skyrocket at auction. The Philadelphia Mint's 1980p SBA dollars are especially fascinating because the mint that year pushed for sharper details and higher striking pressure to try to revive public interest. This effort created some shockingly powerful strikes, coins where every line, every feather, every hair on Susan B. Anthony's portrait appears crisp and bold. Some of these coins look so sharp that collectors mistake them for special strikes. These accidental masterpieces now stand as the most desirable survivors of the Philadelphia run. Meanwhile, the 1980D SBA dollar produced at the Denver Mint carries its own legends. Denver was known for speed, efficiency, and massive production numbers. But in 1980, the Mint's high output created opportunities for strange mistakes. Off-metal planchets, transitional tests, and planchets from foreign contract coins slipping into the presses. A genuine off-metal 1980 D SBA dollar would be priceless, possibly worth a life-changing amount, because no one expects a modern dollar to appear in silver or an unexpected alloy. Collectors today often talk about the mysterious silver-looking SBA dollars from the 1980 series. Some appear brighter, whiter, or colder in tone than regular clad dollars. While many are the result of unusual toning, a tiny number may be something far more dramatic. Planchets intended for foreign coinage or leftover blanks from other U.S. coin experiments. These rare strikes are the kind of once-in-a-generation finds that can turn an ordinary day into a historic one. The story behind Susan B. Anthony herself adds emotional weight to the 1980 coin. She was a relentless force who spent her entire life fighting for the rights of women, workers, and those without a voice. Her battles, her speeches, and her unwavering courage make every coin that bears her image feel symbolic, like a tribute to strength, justice, and the struggle for freedom. When you hold an SBA dollar, you don't just hold metal. You hold the echo of her bravery. Throughout the 1980s, the SBA dollar faded into obscurity. It was used mainly in vending machines at airports and post offices, becoming almost invisible. But quietly in the background, sharp-eyed collectors began noticing that certain 1980p and 1980D coins had unusual luster, nearly flawless surfaces, or rare varieties. Word spread, and the hunt began. Suddenly, the coin everyone ignored became a source of hidden opportunity. The most valuable 1980 SBA dollars are the pristine survivors, the ones with glowing luster, untouched fields, and mirror-like surfaces. These coins can sell for thousands of dollars simply because they avoided decades of scratches, dings, and bag marks. They sit like frozen time capsules from 1980, carrying the original mint brilliance that collectors desperately chase. Then there are the strange errors, misaligned dies, double-struck pieces, off-center strikes, or coins with missing layers. In the storm of 1980's heavy coin production, some mistakes escaped unnoticed. Today, these unusual pieces shine like rare jewels. A dramatic error on a 1980 SBA dollar isn't just collectible. It's unforgettable, the kind of piece that becomes the centerpiece of a collection. What truly makes the 1980 SBA series magical is that the valuable ones are still out there, hidden in pockets, drawers, envelopes, and old mint sets. Someone right now might be holding a rare 1980p or 1980D without realizing that the coin has an unusual alloy tone worth investigating, or a flawless surface that grading experts would praise, or a subtle doubling that could raise its value dramatically. As the years pass, the market continues to rise. Modern collectors are turning their attention toward coins from the late 1970s and early 1980s, especially unusual or condition-sensitive series like the SBA dollars. Prices that once seemed impossible are now becoming normal. A coin that could have been bought for $1 in 1980 might now be worth hundreds or thousands. And this is just the beginning. The 1980 SBA dollar also represents a fascinating moment in U.S. mint history. The government wanted a smaller dollar coin to replace the heavy Eisenhower dollar, hoping it would circulate widely and save money. But the gamble failed, teaching the mint a powerful lesson about public preference. That failure is what makes the SBA dollar even more compelling today, because history proves that coins rejected by the public often become the most valuable collectibles decades later. There is something exciting about the way the 1980 SBA dollar lives between worlds. It is old enough to carry historical weight, yet modern enough that truly rare pieces have enormous room to grow in value. And unlike rare coins from the 1800s, which are nearly impossible to find, the 1980 SBA dollars still appear in everyday places. A fortune could be waiting in a forgotten drawer, a bankroll, or a dusty coin jar at someone's grandparents' house. In the end, the story of the 1980p and 1980D Susan B. Anthony dollars is the story of hidden potential. Coins overlooked by millions but capable of blessing the lucky finder with a life-changing discovery. Whether it is a silver-colored planchet, a perfect gem strike, or a rare error, one extraordinary coin from this year has the power to transform your fortune overnight. That's what makes these dollars so captivating. They remind us that treasure doesn't always look like treasure at first glance.